You may not be able to tell by just looking at me, but I was actually born a female. I have gender identity disorder, which means that I don't identify with the gender that I was assigned at birth. Because the map of my body that is in my brain is completely different than the body that I physically have. I'm in the process of transitioning from one gender to the other. I'm considered a transgender person. Now that we know what a transgender person is, let's talk about some of the things that a transgender person deals with in their day-to-day life. Now, I'm only going to speak from personal experience because everybody goes through different things when they're transition, and nobody goes through the same exact things. For myself, I deal with dysphoria. In simplest terms, dysphoria basically means that I see something on my body that either shouldn't be there or should look different. I'll give you an example. My female chest. I have a female chest because I haven't had top surgery. So, whenever I see my chest in the mirror or when I take a shower, it makes me very uncomfortable because it shouldn't be that way. And it makes me very subconscious about going out in public and just being a person. So what do? I wear a chest binder to compress my chest down so that it looks flat, or I wear larger shirts or multiple layers so that my chest doesn't look as large as it does, so it looks more flat to the public. I deal with anxiety. And a lot of people have anxiety about so many different things. I have social anxiety. I fear that nobody is going to understand me or accept me for who I am and how I am. A lot of people in families or friends or in the workplace don't truly understand what it means to be a transgender person and the things that a transgender person has to go through. Sometimes people get abused or harassed in public or even get kicked out of their own homes because their parents don't accept it. Which leads me to my next point. A lot of transgender people deal with depression. I deal with depression. I feel that there really isn't an easy way to deal with not being accepted or being treated differently just because I identify as different and it's not the norm of society. Now that we talked about some of the things that go along in a transgender person's life, let's talk about some statistics that I found online that I would love to share with you. About 41% of people in the trans community have attempted suicide. Even worse, 50% of the transgender youth has at least one attempt of suicide before their 20th birthday. Another crazy fact is that 26% of transgender people have lost their jobs just because of the way they identify. But on the lighter side, about 78% of people feel more comfortable once they fully transition, at least in the workplace. Only 78%? Why couldn't it be 100%? Now I just want to quickly review what I've been talking about. A transgender person is someone who is transitioning from one gender to the other, who may have gender identity disorder, may not identify with the gender they were assigned at birth. They deal with anxiety, they deal with depression, they deal with dysphoria, getting kicked out of their own homes, being abused. Now I have one question for you. Should a transgender individual have to deal with such a difficult life? No, they shouldn't. Unfortunately, they do. But what can you do to help? You can be a friend. You can support the trans person that you meet. And just by being there for them and supporting them and helping them through this process, it may end up changing your life, and it may end up saving another. Thank you.